Hey y'all, it's me. I am just going to take a little walk around the farm today. And of course, I'm going to start out over here inside of my porch. So you got to see my little green babies and what they're doing. We've got a third shelf lit up now. Let me turn you around. So see, I haven't started the later flowers or the later plants yet. These are just the ones we have to go out in the garden this early spring. The problem is we've had some really, 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 really cold days or cold nights. So we're kind of waiting until maybe day after tomorrow. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, which wouldn't hurt them, and the cold weather probably won't hurt them too much because they're cold weather plants. But I just don't want to risk it. Around. I've got this little handy dandy, I don't know what it's called. It's some kind of a little body mount for my camera now. And so I can walk along through here hands-free. I'm hoping that it actually will not be too bouncy. I'm trying to walk slowly and smoothly. But today it's finally warm. It's about 60 degrees, a little breezy. That makes it a little bit chilly. So it's doable though. It's doable. I just haven't had quite the energy to go up to the graveyard and walk. So we're just going to stroll. We're just going to stroll here today and just chat a little bit. I hope that you're seeing what I'm seeing. I can't tell because you're attached to this strap thing around me. But it does make it a little more comfortable walk because I don't have to hold a little, whatever the thing is, that selfie stick. And there is my big pile of wood chips. I think those still will probably be going into Erin's. Hi, Fancy. That's Fancy. Isn't she a beauty? I hear you, darling. I hear you, yes. I'm going into Erin's dog lot. He needs a little bit of help with the mud. His doggies spend most of their time outside running and playing and everything. He's getting ready to make his dog lot bigger. And I think we're going to build some actually agility equipment up in his dog lot. Not because he's planning on training for agility or anything of that nature, but just simply so that they'll have something to play on. They're all younger. They need a little bit more opportunities to jump around and play than my old dudes. And speaking of old dudes, the Anatolian, Mika, she's been showing more and more signs of it being time. She doesn't seem in any way to be hurting. So we're going to hopefully just allow her to finish her days at home. And it hurts me to even think about it because she is such a sweet, sweet girl. But, that time comes. If she starts showing any signs of hurting, then Erin will take her to the veterinarian and let them help her. But anyway, she's about a 14-year-old Anatolian, and sometimes she has to have help actually standing up in the mornings. But so far, it does seem as though once she has gotten up and walked around a little bit, that she's pretty good usually for the rest of the day. So I'm hoping she'll be with us for a while yet. I love that sweet old girl. And she's so funny. When she barks, she used to have a very ferocious bark when she was younger. But now when she barks, it's kind of a oh, oh, oh. I'm not sure I did a very good impersonation, but it's just a real sweet little quiet sound that she makes. And I'll definitely miss that. All right. Well, this little gate down here is where I will one day be driving, hopefully my side-by-side. It has some issues with the motor. There's some things that need to be fixed on it. But I think Hugh and Aiden are planning on working on that pretty soon, because I will use that pretty significantly with my garden. And this will be where I'll enter my little garden area. Sometimes people make comments, uh-oh, I just heard a gunshot, which means Hugh spied a groundhog. And yeah, that's another thing that hurts me, is having groundhogs killed. But I also realize that groundhogs on a farm, very, very, very dangerous. Where they dig holes, sometimes that has been known to turn a tractor over, or a tractor wheel will run into one of those big holes and it caves. So y'all know that, I mean, we've already had a problem with a tractor turning over last summer. I certainly do not want to ever have to experience that feeling again. Not to mention just, the fact that Hugh thankfully was not hurt. The tractor was damaged, and there was a lot of work to have to be done on it. But that's one of those hard things about living on a farm or whatever, is that there's just always something that needs to be taken care of. And those things are things that hurt my heart, but I understand the need for it. Look at this. Such a beautiful, beautiful day. That little creek down there, it's just a tiny little thing, but it's pretty. Let me take y'all over here and show you. I think I've shown you before. It's been a while. Beside this old barn, there's the bottom part of what used to be a silo, a grain silo. And the grain silo itself has been gone for a long, long, long time. But the bottom of it is still here. And I think it's just the coolest place ever. I keep threatening to make myself a little hammock to bring down here and put in this place. The one reason that I don't is because I also think of snakes when I see this. So, let me see. There it is. But isn't that cool? That's just a cool, cool place. A whole little round rock structure. And that is going to be one of the drawbacks of wearing this little harness, is that I can't see what I'm trying to film. So hopefully I'm aiming myself in the right direction. Oh, gracious. Y'all know you just have to tolerate my silliness. But look, isn't that cool? That is just so cool. I just think that would be the most fun place to just have a little reading nook or something. Somewhere where you could just, I don't know, escape and just hide from everybody. Oh, gracious. All right, let's go on back up this way. Look here, guys. I think that what we have here, this is either a Floribunda rose or a blackberry. Not sure, but it does definitely have have little leaves coming out on it. Everything's coming up really too early this year. So, of course, yesterday was the first day of spring. I guess we can hope that now that things are getting warm, that they won't disappoint us and jump back into winter anytime over the next month. You never know. We'll just deal with what we're handed, right? That's life. You just deal with what you're handed. I got to tell you all about a Facebook post that I read yesterday. Hugh and I, we are on a couple of the local farm chapters, or farm Facebook pages. And this one little person posted a photograph of her old chicken, her old rooster. And she was talking about the cycles of life and how this old rooster, he was almost 7, I think she said, that the young rooster now was challenging him and was basically just beating him up big time, and that for 2 days in a row this old rooster had kind of stayed behind the grain barrel. And she showed the photographs of it, and he was definitely all beat up and looking so pathetic. And she was saying that, that she realized that, this was all part of the circle of life, and that the younger rooster needed to be able to establish himself as the alpha rooster, and sometimes that took killing the old rooster for that to happen. And I found myself just getting so angry with this lady. And I wrote back and I said, to me that's not good animal husbandry, because that old rooster, if it were a cow or a dog or a horse or a goat or any other larger animal, we would never allow there to be a hierarchy established that was going to kill one of those animals. We would put a stop to it. Either, one of the animals would be sold, or, I don't know if you have meat animals, sometimes the animal that's being abused would be put in the freezer or whatever, which, that hurts my heart. I can't hardly stand that. However, I really, really, really cannot stand for an animal to be allowed to be abused like that until it's killed. That doesn't make sense. And so I told her, I said, that's to me, that's not good animal husbandry. It would make more sense for you to either rehome the old rooster or put it in its own little pasture with maybe a couple of its old hens, and let him just live out the rest of his life naturally. Rehome him, or even put him in the freezer. I know old chickens, people talk about them being tough or whatever, but they can be used for chicken and dumplings or something of that nature. I wouldn't be able to eat my rooster because I know his name and I look him in the eye and we'd have chats. But I certainly wouldn't be able to allow my old rooster to be just terrorized and beat up on. What do y'all think about that? Do you think that just because it's nature, I don't know, having its way, we got a big pile of stuff here to take to the dump this week, that it's okay to just allow something to be terrorized? I just don't think so. Not me. That might be my particular upbringing, because I was not raised on a farm. I'm a city girl. all this farm stuff came about when he and I got married 42 and a half years ago. But to me, animals are to be respected. And regardless of whether they're going to end up in somebody's freezer, they need to be treated with respect and taken care of. And you don't have to make them into a pet. But that's not the point. They need to be treated with respect. And there's Papa. He thinks I'm walking around talking to myself.
What?
Say hi.
Hello.
I was telling him about the rooster.
About what?
About the rooster yesterday, that post about the rooster. Did you get one, a groundhog? Okay, so Papa got a groundhog.
We need to get rid of all of them. They're supposed to get some traps.
Yeah.
Which would be good.
Yep.
I thought you was going to the cemetery.
No. I decided just to walk around here.
All right.
But anyway, Pop said that the shingles that we kept seeing the other day were off the little spring house over there.
Spring house.
It needs some work done on it, and Pop's getting ready to work on that this next week. The roof needs to be repaired, and I think he's going to cover it with tin, but there's some areas on it that just need to be replaced, some of the wood on it that's rotted away. But if any of y'all watch Aaron's channel, you will see that he finished the compost bins. I am very excited about the compost bins. Let's walk over here and look at them in case some of y'all haven't seen these yet. But we have, here on this little farm, we have the potential of creating quite a bit of compost. And our plan with the no-till gardening is to eventually just add a few inches of compost to the tops of our garden beds. Look at that, guys. I hope you're seeing Ferdinand and Isabella up there on the front of this. Hey guys, look at you. Just look at you. I hope that I'm getting that. I can't see for sure. All right, I'm going to take you out of this thing because I've got to make sure that I'm getting that. I hear you, darling. There's my little darling. All right, now let me turn this around, and I'm going to turn, yay, so I can see what I'm looking at. Isn't that a nice looking shed? And there's 3 big bins. Each one is about 8 foot square. And what will happen when Hugh cleans the barn out, or Aaron cleans the barn out, or whoever cleans the barn out, they'll bring several scoop loads of cow manure and straw, hay, whatever, over here. And then they will go up to the sawmill where the saw's at, and they will bring in about 3 times that amount of sawdust or wood shavings and put them on top of it. That will be the carbon. The cow manure is the nitrogen. I think I'm getting my words right. I'm not certain. I'm going to come around here and get Ferdinand and Isabella from the front. Look at those birds. Aren't they great? And as long as we keep the cow manure covered with a deep pile of wood shavings from the sawmill, it's not going to smell. And I mean, no, it's not going to smell strongly. I know that some of y'all have worried about that, but we're surrounded by pasture. So, I mean, there's never any time when there's not lots and lots of piles of cow poo laying around. But this will be filled up about halfway over the course of time, and in about 3 months Aaron will take the gates down and he'll move the compost that's in this bin to the second bin, and then we'll start over right here. What happens when you do that is that you're just aerating it a little bit. It doesn't have to be done that often, but aerating it will keep it decomposing. It just needs a little bit of air to make it just to continue composting. What are you looking at, Ferdinand? Yeah, I love those birds. I love the birds. They're so much fun. It looks like he's getting ready to fly down. Let's go back around and look at him from back. Look at these little girls. They're just everywhere. They're everywhere. And Aaron has a rake, a rock rake that he's going to put on the back of his tractor this week and come through and just slide it across the top of the ground, and it should rake all of this up in a pile so that we can just throw it on his bucket and he can take it up and put it in the burn pile. But there's always something to clean up. And it seems like, hey baby, what you running over here for? You think I've got something for you? It seems like the more you clean up, the more you have to clean up. It just doesn't stop. And I am looking forward to getting my energy back. It's been, I had quite a bit of energy a couple of months ago until whatever this silly illness is hit us. And it just kind of zapped me a bit. Look at all my geese. We had a mama that actually stayed on the nest by the corner of the front porch last night, and it bothers me to leave them out, but I think I had explained to you all the other day how this area right here, starting from the back of the dog lot right there, going all the way around the outside of the pond and over to the corner of the big barn. And of course the old chicken house is going to be torn down soon, and then going to the back corner of the big barn, and then it will encompass the sawmill itself and go up to, I feel like I'm repeating myself, am I? Hey babies, look at you guys. They say we're just ignoring you. Yeah, that's okay. But no, you know better. Come here, darling. Come here. Can I say hi? Are you gonna say hi? I know. Such a beauty. Don't you try to bite me. You can't do that. That's against the law. Shh. Not so loud. Not so loud. They just want to come say hi. Some of them do let me pet them. Ryan's not so much wanting to be petted anymore. He decided that I betrayed him, I think, when I moved him to the back over here. Took him off of his porch. But anyway, up there at the corner of the sawmill itself, so from the corner of the barn over to where the sawmill is now, there will be a fence ran, and the sawmill will be coming over here where these stacks of wood are. Hugh and Aaron are going to pour a pad for it, so it will actually be sitting on something very, very solid. And then from where the corner of the sawmill is, over to the back corner of this shed, and all the way along the back of the shed will be a solid fence. Yes, I hear you, George. And it will run all the way along the back of this shed over to where the other fence starts, right there next to the compost bin. So that whole area down there, this whole area will be just a great big bird yard. And they won't exactly be free range, but I think it's going to pretty much, you can say it's free range. They'll have plenty of area to kind of dig and poke and all that sort of thing. I'll bring them some interesting little plants over here that will grow, and I'll have to protect them till they get established. But put them some interesting little plants over here that'll keep them amused. And then Hugh and Aaron will be able to take all of this barbed wire off this building because the cattle won't be able to get in there at all. And it'll make it a whole lot more accessible and easy to get things in and out of. The old chicken house will be gone, and all of the fencing around the goose pond itself will be gone. And the goose pond will be enlarged just a little bit with not so loud, guys, with the banks made much more soft so that it'll be easier for even the chickens to get down and get them a drink if they want to. Hi, George. Hi, George. Such a pretty boy. Such a pretty boy. But anyway, it'll look a whole lot nicer back here, and it will make me happy because... Can you do that again for us? Huh? Can you do that one more time? It's just not with the camera looking at me. Crazy rooster. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. Oh, love these crazy critters. But anyway, so the whole area will be safely, and it'll be have a hard fence that will either be the field fence or the barbed wire fence, so it will keep the cattle out. But over top of that, yes, we hear you. But over top of that will also be chicken wire to keep all the birds in and to keep other smaller critters like raccoons and weasels and things that would hurt my chickens. And especially at some point when some of these mamas hopefully will set on the eggs long enough to hatch them. So we don't want, you know, these critters coming in here and wreaking havoc. So that is something I'm looking forward to, and I think that's going to happen within the next couple of weeks. And I won't have to worry at that point about the geese being out and not getting them back inside of their enclosure safely. They'll just always be inside of their enclosure, and that will make me happy. I don't have noisy birds, but I won't have to worry about one of them setting on a nest beside the front porch totally unprotected all night long, because the only nest that they can build will be inside of this enclosure. And it's just lots of little plans, lots of things we want to do and have happen. And there's Isabel. What you doing, darling? What you doing? Say, what you doing? Say. Good girl. Good girl. And Ferdinand over there, he says, no, I don't want you to take my picture from the front. I'll show you my tail feathers. But anyway, well, I just hated not to visit with y'all. It's been a few days, and hopefully within the next week, I know it's supposed to rain tomorrow, but toward the end of the week, It is supposed to be 70 some degrees. That will be lovely. And by then, I hope I have enough energy to go up and walk around at the graveyard. Isn't he a beauty? Such beautiful birds. So he's going to flirt with this girl. You're backing into the peach tree, silly. Alright. And up there's the cows just kind of wandering around. Hopefully within the next week, 2 weeks at the most, we'll be bringing our girls home, our little white-faced girls, and then our black mama named Mama Bill, and her daughter also will be a mama this fall probably. Her name is Ruby Lee, and those girls will all be coming home. And these guys will be going back across the road to Sean, and that will make me happy. I want my girls home. And these fields are beginning to just take off and produce beautiful hay. And this is just beginning to create grass to be mowed. But that's just hopefully within the next year, this whole little area right here will just be raised beds. And the chickens won't be able to get over here because that'll be as far as they can come, right there where that gate's at and that fence. So this whole area will be protected away from them. So will my big garden area, and they'll just be contained back there in their own little space. The chicken yard is what it will be called. The chicken yard, yes. All right, guys. I hope y'all are having a wonderful, wonderful week. We are on Tuesday, and probably by the time this uploads, it'll be sometime in the morning before it will go. But I love y'all. I hope that you're having a wonderful week. And let's all get better and enjoy this spring. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.